Yeah, I just think continuation from spring in terms of his progressions in our pass game in the offense, his footwork, in the pocket, knowing when to hang in the pocket, when to climb. As much movement is needed, but as little as necessary. Quiet mechanics we talk a lot about, and just the ability to increase accuracy through that. So they've been definite improvements, really building from the spring on through now.
How close was the PJ Will race?
Yeah, I mean, both those guys, in my mind, did a great job competing. I would say to both their credit, they were obviously competing against each other and knew that, but they also did a great job supporting each other, and I thought, they had good camps, and I thought they did it the right way. They went about it as pros, and I was really, really thankful that they did it that way, and they made the room that much more enjoyable to be in.
How does that change the dynamic in the season, having three quarterbacks versus two?
It doesn't. It doesn't. I mean, you know what I mean. That room works very well together. The three guys work well together. The two guys are going to work well together. So to me, it doesn't make a difference.
Curious with Sam playing the Jets in the opener. Some guys in the league when they play their former team, it's like Steve Smith was, blood and guts.
Mm-hmm.
Sam pretty much kind of brushes it off. It's no big deal. Do you hear him talking about that, or is there any thoughts of that? Or
not at all. It's the first opponent. It's the most important game because it's the next game, and that's it. We're just going out trying to get better every day and getting ready to beat them. But no.
What's that say about his makeup? His mental approach?
I think it makes him a pro. I mean, he understands the importance of getting off to a fast start to win the next game, and understanding that this is the biggest one on our schedule because it's the first one up, and the next one up. And I just think he's a pro.
Would you feel comfortable having one more guy in here for insurance?
Yeah, I mean, that's up to. I'm good with however they choose to do it. The decision makers for personnel, whatever they put in the room, we're just going to coach their tails off and do the best we can. So I'm good with whatever they see fit for the program.
Was there an area you saw PJ improve the most from like when you first started working with him to where he is now?
Yeah, I think his footwork. I think his footwork in the pocket. I think there's less movement. I don't think he moves as much when he doesn't have to. So again, for me, that's a big deal. I'm always going to talk about footwork with quarterbacks. It's just kind of one of the things that I focus on and try to improve, and I think he's done a really good job with that.
Yeah, Matt mentioned him protecting the football was something
Sure.
you guys really wanted him to work on. Just if you don't mind explaining, how does footwork kind of relate to that sort of thing?
Footwork relates to it because in a progression style passing game, when your feet are on time and you're in rhythm, you can make quick decisions and you're comfortable doing it. You know what I mean? Versus, hey, my feet are moving. I'm not ready to throw when I should be ready to throw. Now my timing is off, and now I'm doing things with the football that I shouldn't be doing in a normal progression. So that's, to me, how it all ties in together.
How have your impressions of Sam changed from when you first saw him, maybe last year or the year before that, to now?
Yeah, I mean, what happens is you get to know them personally, and you see their work ethic up front. And I think you just really respect that as a profession. When you don't work with them, you don't know that because you don't see him day in and day out. So that's probably the biggest change is, I always knew he was talented, obviously, has the arm talent, is athletic, can move around when he needs to. But for me, it was getting to know him and seeing what kind of work ethic he brings to the building every day. That's been the biggest thing I've learned.
How important was it to get the quality of game reps that he got in the last game? I know that you saw a bunch of him with the joint practices, but how important was just from the game rep standpoint to have that game against Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I think it's always important. I think it was important to get him, out in front of a crowd and playing football. And, you think about it, a lot of us haven't done that, coaches or players, in a year or 2 years, whatever it's been, with crowds and noise and just the game atmosphere. And I think anytime you get game reps, it's huge. It's a dry run for what you're about to do next weekend. So I thought it was a big time deal for him.
What is it about? Is it that work that you talk about? What is it about Sam that gives you confidence he can, overcome what happened in the past and be the starting quarterback y'all need?
Yeah, because I think he's a focused guy on what's next. Not what about, that's our saying here is what's next, and it's not a question, it's a statement, and it's basically like, I'm going to learn from the past, but I'm not going to dwell on it, and that's his mentality. All the focus is about getting better and getting ready to play the Jets, and when you see that focus, that professionalism, that's what impresses you.
Were there any particular conversations you had with him that stick out?
I mean, nothing to share. I don't think in the public. I mean, it's all been positive. I think we have an open door policy in that quarterback room. We all do. Myself and Coach Lombardi and obviously Coach Brady, Coach Rule when he's in there, and I think there's great discussions. There's great football talk, and there's great, kind of just personal talk, getting to know each other, which is an important part of it. So, it's a very comfortable room that way.